Angry guy here, and passport bros are only dating women who appreciate them, and black women are furious. Passport bros are only dating women who appreciate them, and black women are furious. So today we're going to be looking at a video from the Filipina P. She's doing an interview with two black guys who are expats, and I want you guys to listen to this video because this is so important, not just for black men, but for all men, to see what men have been putting up with and why men have walked away and what men are now experiencing after they leave America and have gone overseas to find new wives and start new life. This is so important, so do not miss a moment of it.
Hi folks, the Filipino P here, and we've got two brothers in the house, Douglas and Dale. Welcome to my channel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy to
for
be
being
here.
All right, so let's get to know you.
Okay.
Dale, so
Yes.
tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm 62 years old. I'm originally from Detroit, but I've been in Las Vegas for about 25 years.
Okay.
So I was in the Navy back in the 80s. I've been retired for a little while. In Vegas, I was audiovisual tech and I did real estate.
Okay.
Anyway, so I decided to come out to the Philippines and see what was going on.
All right, so how long have you been here now?
Actually, a little over a month.
Mhm.
But I actually came here right after the pandemic for another month, and I
Okay.
just came back. So about a month.
About a month. All right. How about you, Douglas?
Well, my name is Douglas Weldon, and from the United States, from Detroit, Michigan, the D. And I've been here in the Philippines now for almost 6 years. A couple
6
years
years.
a couple years in Cebu, and then almost 4 years here in Negros.
Negros, okay.
Yeah, I'm a retired computer programmer,
All right.
and I'm just here in the Philippines, just living my best life.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up.
All right. So how did you discover the Philippines?
Well, when I started working from home, I
Mhm.
had a home office, and I realized as long as I have internet, I can be anywhere in the world
Yeah.
and still get a paycheck.
Yeah.
So I just started going different places, different parts of the world, and Philippines was one of those places. And then eventually I got back to the Philippines again, and I got back to the Philippines again.
You're being sucked in.
Yeah. And I was
slowly.
just like, well, why do I keep going back to the Philippines? And the time
Right.
kept getting longer and longer, 1 week, 2 weeks, a month. And then
Mhm.
I finally decided, hey, you know what? This is
We'll
where I
see.
want to be.
Yeah.
So here I
And
am.
Dale here was in the
Yeah.
Navy before.
Yes, I actually
You've
came
been here during the 80s.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Came out here, had a wonderful time.
And you're back.
yeah. So I figured I would come back.
Is this for good?
Yes, that's the plan. I'm actually would like to find a nice traditional woman, if
Okay.
possible,
If possible? Sure. Why not?
and settle down. Maybe have a kid or two.
And Douglas, you're also staying here for good, right?
Oh yeah, this is home for me now.
All right.
Yeah.
So any plans, long-term plans?
So I want to interrupt right here just for a moment. No, you guys are enjoying the video, but I want to point this out about these black men. On the left, we have a man who was a computer programmer. All right, these guys look young. The guy on the left is 63. The guy on the left is 63. The guy on the right is 62. The guy on the 63-year-old looks younger than the 62-year-old. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. And these men are not like they're looking to start lives out there in the Philippines. I have to talk about this. What the heck is a 60-year-old man doing with a 50 or 60-year-old woman who cannot provide children for them, who's already gone through her life, she's already had tons of baggage, sometimes she already has children of her own. What exactly, there's a lot of these older guys, 60, and 60 is not old, but they're acting like old men. Like what are you doing at 60 years old with an older woman? She's going to bring so much baggage and chaos into your life, and especially if she has not been able to settle down by the time she's 50 or 60 years old. There is a reason for that. You think she was just sitting around knitting in her 20s and 30s and 40s? No, she was out in the streets. All right. And now you're inviting that chaos into your life. There's a reason why she's single. There's a reason why she's been single, why she's still single 40 years later, 40 years in. All right. From the time she was 20 to 60. What do you think she was doing? Oh, she was just being a girly girl and doing ladylike stuff. You've got to be kidding me. So when I hear these guys who are 60 saying they want a mature woman, a lot of these women who are in their 50s and 60s are extremely immature. They never grew up. You can find a woman who is 20 years old and she has the maturity that is well beyond someone who is 60 years old and has been living a frivolous, spendthrift, and downright immoral life. Immoral. Yes, immoral. I use that word very, very specifically. These are high value men, all right? The guy on the right was in the Navy, okay? And he worked as an audiovisual technician for a number of years. This is a guy who can hold a job. This is a guy who's ex-military. The guy on the left was a computer programmer, all right? He's highly educated. These are high-value men. When I say that high-value men are leaving the Black community behind, I mean they're leaving it behind for Chad, Tyrone, Ray Ray, and Pookie. And the funny thing about these guys, Chad, Tyrone, Ray Ray, and Pookie, they're fine with having relationships that are strictly only physical with older women. Like they'll have a relationship with a 50-year-old woman. They'll have a physical relationship. They don't want to date her or marry her, but they'll have a physical relationship with her. Okay? That's how these dudes roll. But then once they're done, these women are going to come and look for a plan B guy. All right? There's no reason for a 60-year-old man to be out there with some 50, 60-year-old woman that's been out in the streets for the last 30, 40 years. I don't know what's wrong with some of y'all. All right? Some of you, and you know who you are. Some of y'all listen to my videos right now, 60, 50, 60 years old. Y'all out here with these 50, 60-year-old, looking for a 50, 60-year-old woman that's been out in the streets for decades. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What is the 50, 60-year-old woman going to do for you? Oh, I want a mature woman. She's not mature. She's immature. That's the reason why she's 50 or 60 years old. And after 50 to 60 years, she still is single. Because she's been out in the streets.
Plans, get married.
Long-term plan is
kids.
Just day to day.
Day to day.
As long as I wake up,
all right,
and I'm still in the Philippines, and I'm still loving life.
I'm
still healthy, and my money is still doing what I need for it to do. Then I've reached my goals.
Are you guys currently dating? Are you dating?
Well, what's your definition of dating?
Yeah.
Seeing someone but not living together.
Seeing someone in a serious way, or seeing someone getting to know them.
Oh gosh, what did I do?
Yeah,
okay, so just seeing, just.
I mean, I guess
making friends.
I date.
Date, okay.
Yeah, I don't have a serious girlfriend. Or,
not yet.
No, or anything like that. But yeah, of course, I date.
See, here's the thing. Once you go to these other countries, you realize you are the prize, because these men have so many women chasing them. When they go to the Philippines, when they go to Thailand, when they go to Cambodia and Indonesia, it changes, guys. When you go to other countries, it completely changes. It's like a switch, and it just changes. In America, men are chasing women. In these countries, women are chasing men. They say it's not about who you like, but about who likes you. But the thing is, in America, you literally have to go and find the woman, and the woman will never really approach you. All right? I read a book about this once, about when it comes to dating. You can be a male celebrity, and there can be a ton of women who like you, but these women at best will just hover around you. All right? But they will never actually approach you. They might just glance in your direction or try to do something to get your attention, but they will never physically approach you. You go to these other countries, these women will physically approach you. Okay? They will make conversation with you. Hi, blah blah. Because one, they're friendly, and that actually works in their favor, because they know how to have a conversation with someone. but they know you're the prize. So if they like you, they're going to do whatever they can to lock you down. Okay? It's a complete role reversal. It's crazy. If a woman likes you in America, you have to pursue her. How crazy is this? She likes you. You're the one who has to pursue her. But in other countries, they like you. They're pursuing you. That's what makes sense. It's the person who it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy how things are positioned. As you can see, this guy, he's not committing to anything just yet. And that's how it really works when you go over to these countries, because suddenly it's a whole different shift. And there's so many different women talking to you, and you realize your value suddenly. You realize how much value you have, and you have to be smart, because there's some guys who go over there and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get married immediately. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Don't be that guy, all right? You need to date. You need to take your time. And it sounds crazy, all right? But you have to understand, it's a whole different world. All right, that's how a normal relationship works. You don't just let someone lock you down like that. You need to shop around. You have to look. You want to get the best deal possible. And even if you don't plan on getting married, let's say you just want to have a kid, you still need to shop around. You're looking for the best deal, someone who is going to give you the best deal. Decide what you're looking for in a woman. What are you looking for? What are specific traits you're looking for? What you will deal with? What will you accept and you will not accept? And you need to be firm about this. And you can find exactly what you want. All right? Women have unrealistic standards, but men have very realistic standards. But you need to have standards, because one unfortunate thing that's happened to a lot of men in America is men have been conditioned to not have standards, where they will accept literally anything. That's why we now have guys who literally say, guys like Destiny, who are basically saying that men should allow their partners to sleep with whomever they choose to. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And then there are a lot of women who basically say that you're not a real man. You don't like women. You're a person who doesn't like women if you care about a woman's body count. If you don't want to be with a woman who has a high body count, then you don't like women. How is that? That's a standard. So if a man has any kind of standards whatsoever, he doesn't like women. If a guy says that he wants a woman who's slim, he doesn't like women. If he says that he wants a woman who's young and who's young and vibrant and still full of life, he doesn't like women. If he says that he wants a woman who doesn't have doesn't have a high body count, he doesn't like women. It's discrimination. It's a form of, come on, any standards whatsoever. And, I don't want a woman who has a lot of student loan debt. You don't like women. You're a little boy. Okay, I don't want to be with a woman I don't want to date single mothers. You don't like women. You're a little boy. What? But I don't want to take on that additional responsibility. I don't want to raise some other man's child. You don't like women. What? This literally shows you. This shows you what men are working with, what men are living with, and the fact that women are completely unrealistic. Anything bad that women do today, and they want to sweep it under the table. They do that by basically saying that the men that have standards are men who don't like women and men who don't belong with women. That's how bad things are in the West today. Oh, I don't want to be with a woman who has a criminal history. You don't like women. What? What? She has a felony. So what? I don't want to be with a woman who has an STD. I don't want to contract it and you don't like women. What? What? Oh my gosh. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you already have it. Turn on notifications to never miss another video again. And like the video to tell YouTube that you like my content and you want to see more of my content on a regular basis. Guys, the Password Bros are only dating women who appreciate them, and Black women are furious. Let's go ahead and jump back into the video.
Okay. So no one snatched you up yet, or?
Right.
No one is.
You're not in a hurry.
I'm looking.
No. I'm just taking
Okay,
my
but
time.
you're looking.
I'm still looking. Yes.
All right.
So
If it happens, it happens.
happens.
If it doesn't happen, that's fine too.
Right. So I'm available.
Right. Ladies, Dale, what are your first impressions about the Philippines?
The people
Mhm.
were so happy
Okay.
and so content with little of nothing,
Mhm.
if anything. And that really impressed me the most when I was here the first few times. It's like, wow, the people here are so happy. And they're so warm and so giving. They want to drink with you. They want to eat with you. They'll share whatever they have with you. And I was thinking, wow, in the States, we're scrambling and
Mhm.
working so hard to try to get more and more and more and more, but we're still not happy.
Exactly.
So
Right.
that was my impression. Wow, I want to live like that.
So it's not hard making friends here in the
Oh
Philippines.
no, not at all.
And it's family oriented.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So that was a big goal, especially now. And I'm getting older. I've done all the partying. So I really like to settle down. And the women that I've have met, the traditional.
Did you guys hear about this movement, the Passport Bros? I know this is not a new thing, but did you hear about this movement
Yeah, lately
lately?
I've heard about it, but
Right.
to get into that, what I want to say is, I mean, the women who are upset about these passport bro thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, I really wish you guys would just relax because you're making yourself look bad. And you say, well, why are we leaving? Well, look at your attitude. Look at the way, you know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm watching videos of them saying bad things about the Filipino women, and it's like, please, you guys have to stop that. Okay, so look at yourself. This is a reason. So have have some accountability for yourself, and look at just stop blaming everybody. Look at yourself.
He said a very dangerous word, accountability. And that's something that women in the West cannot do. They cannot be accountable.
And fix that.
I had never even heard of the
No.
Passport Bros until like a couple of days ago.
Right.
So, of course, I went online and checked out a video or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like to say, men going to the Philippines, looking for love, looking for, you know, building a family,
Mhm.
finding a wife. It's not really a statement or an indictment against Black women. It's really more of a indictment against Western culture.
Right.
Right.
And the world is constantly evolving,
Uh-huh.
and naturally our cultures evolve with that.
Yes.
And what's accepted today
Mhm.
in a culture 100 years ago may have been taboo, because cultures evolve.
Right.
And fortunately, the culture in the Philippines has evolved a little more slowly.
Right.
Right.
So being a man being with a Philippine woman
Tradition.
has the opportunity, in a sense, to go back in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go back in time and
Nope.
experience what it was like. How did my grandmother treat my grandfather?
Yes.
Back into a time where women were not fighting with men
Yes.
for power, a time when women were actually embracing the ideal of needing a man.
Yes.
Right.
Our cultures have kind of shifted us away from that.
Right.
But
I
being
know.
being with a Philippine woman gives you a chance to go back to that
Yes.
in a sense. I mean, a lot of people would argue that, well, the men of today don't deserve to be treated that way. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Why are they
It's
demonizing you?
it's
Why are they like, we don't need you? It's like, of course you need them, girl. What
it's
are you talking
brainwashing.
about? Yeah.
That has been happening in the States for years. It's about being independent and
strong.
strong. You don't need a man. You can do this, but God has put us here for men to be men and women to be women. You know what I mean? There is
Right.
a reason. Women not supposed to be men, are not trying to be men, and men is not trying to be. It's a reason that this is like this. When I was raised, the women would be home with the family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And men would go out and work. You know what I mean?
The culture here is very different
Mm-hmm.
than the culture in the U.S. The culture in the U.S. unfortunately is based on more. It's
More.
always more. You
Uh-huh.
always want more. I don't care what you have,
I get
you
more.
want more. You need more. You have a car, okay, I need 2 cars. You have a 4,000 square foot house, okay, I need a 6,000
That's right.
square foot house. So
Mm-hmm.
you never
Satisfied.
get to that point where I can just relax and enjoy what I have because it's always I want more.
It baffles me with American women today. And women in the Western countries, you can have a home, you can have it fully furnished, you can have a car, you can have the latest iPhone or Android devices, $1,000 phone or a $1,500 phone, a $500 or a $700 watch, Apple Watch on your wrist. You can be dressed wearing clothing that costs a decent amount of money, and it's not enough. It's not enough. It just baffles me with American women today. No amount is enough because the center of their lives is consumerism. You know, it just keeps their standard of living just keeps on going up. Where now they want a purse that costs $10,000, $20,000. Like Kevin Samuels, there was a woman who called in and she said that she wanted a man who makes at least $100,000 a year. Kevin Samuel said that is $300,000 in 3 years. What are you trying to do with that kind of money? And she immediately, it shook her. Because when you do the math, that's $300,000 over the course of 3 years. What are you trying to do with that kind of money? What are you trying to? And she said, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to do anything. He literally shook her because she had no explanation for it. Because when a woman says, I want a man who makes at least $100,000 a year, most women don't want even 100. 100 isn't enough for most women anymore. They want a man who makes over 100. They want a man who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, or even $1 million a year. But what are you doing with a man that makes $300,000 over the course of 3 years? What are you trying to do with that kind of money? $300,000 over the course of 3 years. That's a lot of money. What are you trying to do with that kind of money? What are American women trying to do with that kind of money? And that's where you catch them in their heels. Because I'll tell you what they're trying to do with that kind of money. They're trying to buy expensive cars. They want a $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 car. They want a house that costs $1 million or $2 million. They want to be able to go out and spend $1,000 a day if they so desire. $1,000 in a single day, if they so desire, on literally nothing. Well over even more than $1,000 a day, because they want to be able to go into a store and say, "Oh, that looks cute. These sunglasses look cute. They're only $500. Oh, I'm picking those up. Oh my gosh, those are the cutest shoes, and they're only $750. Oh my, that's so cheap. Oh, I'll grab those. I mean, I usually prefer to buy things nothing lower than $1,500 or $2,000. But I'm going to save some money today, okay? But because they are so cute. Like $750, $1,000 is cheap for shoes, bro. And then they're calling men broke boys. No, what these women are is wasteful. They are absolutely wasteful. And when hard times arrive, guys, all their stuff is going to be thrown out. All right, wherever they're living. And they can't pay their rent, because what's happening is these women are living in these expensive places where they can't afford the rent. A lot of their stuff is purchased on credit, and all their junk is going to get tossed out. Some of them will put their stuff in storage, although that much stuff, a lot of that, they won't even be able to afford the storage. So a lot of that junk is going to be tossed out. It's going to be tossed onto the side of the road. All right? And that's it. And where are they going to go? They're going to have to stay in a tent city. All right? Because you're going to have, guys, this whole thing about, we're going to put them in hotels. Guys, you're out of your minds. Some of you think that, when things go downhill completely, the government is going to take women, and women are going to be placed in hotels, and they're going to be living in hotels. And are you crazy? Y'all are crazy that think that this is what's going to happen. No, they're going to create encampments with tents, and they're going to live in tents if they're lucky. Some of them won't even have tents. All right? And it's going to be hardship. Because a lot of y'all aren't realistic. A lot of y'all aren't living in reality. You think that the government is going to subsidize the living of all these women and put them up in all of them in public housing. Guys, there's not enough public housing. There's not enough. Oh, they're all going to get Section 8. Section 8 is limited. There's a lot of people who are on Section 8 that absolutely should not be on Section 8. But let me make it very, very clear to you. It's not that easy to get. There's a long line for public housing. There's a long line for Section 8. It takes years to get these things usually. All right? And the first group of people that are eligible are usually women with children. Able-bodied women, there are women's shelters, but let me make this very, very clear. The number of women's shelters cannot hold millions, hundreds of thousands, or millions of women who are homeless. They don't have that kind of capacity. They just don't. And for those of you thinking, oh, the government will find, well, listen to me. There'll be a, don't get me wrong. There'll be a lot of women on the news like, oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Women are suffering. Blah 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 blah. Guess what? It's not going to listen. If they try to allocate funds to fight homelessness, they're going to have to address the problem with the men also. Because if they just completely start shifting all these funds exclusively towards towards fighting homelessness for women, it's going to be crazy. They're going to say, wait a minute, so you're only providing funds to fight homelessness for women, and you're leaving all these men on the street. So, guys, a lot of it is the government is tight with money. The first people who are going to get this money aren't going to be the homeless. It's going to be the politicians and the people who are administering it. When you look at breast cancer, people were shocked years ago when they found out that the billions of dollars that are being raised for breast cancer, only around 10% of that is actually going towards research for cancer. Wait a minute. So we raised $1 billion and only around 100 million of that went towards breast cancer. Yeah. So where did the rest go? It went to pay the people who raised the money. What? The people who raise the money, only around 10% of the money raised for breast cancer actually goes to breast cancer. Only the researchers and people who create and the people who work towards prevention, it only around 10% of that money goes towards them. The rest of that money goes towards the people who raise it. You've got to be kidding. And nothing has been done. Nothing. It's a business. It's a business. The politicians that will advocate for money to help the homeless, their people, the administrators, will get paid first. Only a small portion of that money will ever actually go anywhere near the homeless. I just have to be very, very clear about that, because some of y'all just don't get it.
And it creates stress, and a lot of Western people are stressed because you have so much debt, you have so much that you have and so much that you still want, that you're always trying to, how am I going to get it?
Yeah.
How am I going to continue to, how can I make more money? Yeah, I make good money, but how can I make more money?
Right.
Because I want to get this.
Are there a lot of Joneses there, like keeping up with the Joneses?
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we don't have a lot of Joneses. We have a lot of Maritas.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of chismes, but
The chismes.
Yeah. But in the again in the Western culture, the roles have changed.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Where a household could survive on just a man doing what he did and made the money that he did, and the wife stayed home and took care of the kids and did those things, and they could survive. It's not that easy to do in today's economy.
There.
So you have a lot more women now in the workforce as well as men. So and the man needs their income just as much as the woman needs his income.
Right.
So that has kind of pushed the role thing to be a little different, where now the women are starting to feel like, well, I'm making just as much money as you. So we're on the same level. And it's not about levels, it's about roles.
Yes.
A man has
Yes.
certain roles.
Yes,
And a woman
does
has
have
certain roles. And we were made that way.
Exactly.
And it's not a competition.
No.
You accept your roles.
Yes.
And you build a happy household.
That's right.
And that's really what it's
And it
that's
can
really
work.
what it's all about.
I don't understand why they have to compete with their men.
Yeah.
You have to compliment your man.
Exactly.
That's how a partnership
Exactly.
should be,
Exactly.
right?
Guys, what do you think about this? I think this is a lot of wisdom. And one thing I've said to you is that there's going to be a lot of drain in the black community and then in the white communities. Right now, the men with money, it costs like $3,000 to go to the Philippines from the United States. Look it up for yourself, all right? The cheapest tickets you guys are going to find are over $2,000, all right? And it's like if you wanted to leave right now and get a good ticket, like $3,000. That's a 20-hour flight, 22-hour flight, and that's one of the faster flights. All right, a lot of flights will take that's like one stop. A lot of the flights will take actually around up to even like 36 hours. It's expensive. It's expensive to head over there, and it takes a lot, and it costs and it takes a lot of time. And these are not broke men. All right, the cost that's for a round trip, $3,000. And if you want to fly business, that's $7,000. You want to fly for minimum $7,000 to $9,000. You want to fly first class. Now we're talking about like over $10,000, $10,000 or more to fly first class. And here's the thing: here's the thing about this, when you're going to be on a plane for that many hours, you probably would want to fly first class, all right, or at least business, because it's going to be hard. That's a long flight, so you want to have comfort. So these men who can afford just economy tickets are so expensive, $3,000 for an economy ticket. So guys, these guys who can afford to do this, they're not broke. They're not broke boys. These are not broke men. All right, these guys have money. They have education. They have life experience. All right, and these are men who want to settle down with women. They want to actually form families. They want to have children. So these men are not out in the streets. These are the high quality men. These are the real valuable men in these in the black communities. But these men are leaving, and you're going to watch more and more men. All the quality men are going to be leaving the community, and the only thing that's going to be left over is Chad, Tyrone, Ray Ray, and Pookie. And as soon as white guys start doing this, rapidly begin doing this, because now the black guys are beginning to do this rapidly, but soon the white guys are going to begin doing this rapidly. As soon as the white guys begin doing this rapidly, the same exact thing is going to happen in the white communities as well. You think I'm joking? It's going to be Chad, Tyrone, all over again, Ray Ray, and Pookie. Listen, these guys are cancer. These guys are cancer. They've destroyed many neighborhoods. All right, they've destroyed many families. Chad, Tyrone, Ray Ray, and Pookie. This is it. They wrecked the black community. They've been affecting the white community for many years, and it's only going to get worse. All right, because all the men of value are going to walk out. They're going to leave the community and live. And here's the thing about remote work. More and more men are going to say, well, either you offer me remote work or I won't do the job. All right, a lot of men are going to basically say, this is how it is. I'm only taking a remote work. Okay, and if you don't like that, then I'll create an opportunity for myself. You have a lot of guys who will just drive Uber, who will come to the States. They will live in a one room. They live in one room. They'll rent a single room or just live with their parents, and they will work and save all of their money for 6 months or a year. Send whatever they send money back to the Philippines or Thailand or Cambodia or Vietnam or Brazil or Colombia or Venezuela, or whatever country their wives are in, or the Dominican Republic. So there's some people who said that you gotta be careful with DR, and it's true, you gotta be careful with DR. But there's a lot of dudes heading to DR right now. They'll send money back to wherever their wives are. All right, with their wives and their children, because they're not bringing their children over here. They're not bringing their wives over here. So they have their family over there. I've met these guys. I've met these passport bros, and I've already met these passport bros, and their families are over there in these countries. And what some of them are doing is they're actually starting businesses over there too. So they're saving all their money, and they start a business over in these countries, and their wife is over there running a business, making money for herself. That's right, making money for herself over there. So they set their wife up. They said their kids are over there. Their kids don't want to come back to the U.S. Their kids don't want to come to the U.S. either. They don't want to come to the U.S. Are you crazy? When they're over there, Their kids, I know some of these passport bros, their kids are American. All right? They take their kids over to these countries. Their kids are like, Daddy, I'm not coming back. I'm not going back to America. No, I'm not going back. I'm chilling out here. All right? You live your best life, Dad. You be safe over there. All right? We respect you and we love you for what you're doing. But I'm not going back to the States, man. All right? I'm not going back to the States. I'm good, right? I'm good, Dad. I'm good. All right? I'm good. I see you when I see you. I'll see you when I see you. All right? Because when they're over there in these countries, the weather is nice. The women are nice to them. They're not putting up with the nonsense. They can go out. They live happy lives. They don't have to worry about any of the kind of crap they commit crime in America like it's a sport. Yes, their crime exists in other countries, but a lot of that crime is because of poverty or because of stupidity or stupidity. In America, they commit crime for fun. Like the crime is bad in America. Like you have some real criminals in America, man. Like it's different. Like I've been to other countries and there's crime, but it's a different kind of crime. It's a different kind of crime. In America, it's just like stupid stuff. Like there's like some little old lady walking, and some dude just goes up and he goes in and he commits it. It's just ridiculous. It's like it's stupid. It's just madness, and people are tired of it. Men are tired of it, and then the fact is the women don't respect you here. And you're treated like a utility. They just want your attention, your time, and your money. And men are just like, walking away from this. And I tell you, when you bring your kids over there, they don't want to come back to America because they don't want the stress. Kids are stressed out in America. They are very stressed out in America. They don't need that. Someone said this, that homeschooling is going to be the future. And it's true. Just like we have remote work, there's a remote schooling. A lot of young people are doing their classes online. They're doing their work, they're studying, they're doing all of their work over the computer. They log on and they do their work on the computer while their parents are close by. All right? And it makes so much sense. Guys, when you think about it, once you really get to high school, do your teachers really teach you anything? Like, ask yourself very, very carefully. Once you get to high school, do your teachers really teach you anything? Because you're sitting in the class and they're teaching at the board, but what are you really learning? You're learning on your own. What's the difference between learning in a classroom and learning off YouTube? I'm so serious. Like it's not a big difference. And if you have a computer right in front of you and you can speak to the teacher over the computer and say, I have this question. In many ways, it's even better because you can type your question. You can type your question to your teacher. This is what I'm having problem with, blah, 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 blah. And they can then provide a response to you directly to you. Because sometimes the teacher is in a classroom and they have all these students and it's just one teacher and a bunch of students. And they cannot give enough attention to one student. But when you're teaching remotely, your students can write their questions and then they can get back to you. You can get back to them. Or they can, at the same time they're working online, they can talk to other students, all right? And they can learn from each other. Or they can go on YouTube. And now they have artificial intelligence, which a lot of you don't understand. I'm going to be teaching you a lot about AI very soon. I'm a cryptocurrency expert. Many of you guys know that. Like what I used to do when I was running my other channel, I have a cryptocurrency academy where I teach people about cryptocurrency, in-depth investing, how the technology works, and how to plan for the future so you can make money. All right? So you can make money. So, I mean, guys, you need to be on your P's, you need to be on your Q's, you need to be awake, and you need to be alert. All right? You need to be alert, and you need to be ready for the future. Okay? And the future is crypto. The future is artificial intelligence, and it's men leaving the West, going overseas and starting new lives overseas with women overseas and building community lives overseas and new communities. This is really where it's going. And there's going to be a lot of men taking a lot of money out of the United States. And the men who don't leave the United States, these are men who are just going to go and they're basically going to become hermits. A lot of them will get a piece of land, build a house on that land, and live on that land, and only interact with society as much as they have to. All right, that's how a lot of these men are going to go MGTOW hermit. Not monk. When you're a monk, you're disengaged. Monks basically they don't really have strong relationships with women. That's monks. No, they're going straight hermit, where they are disengaging from society. All right, right now it's just all right. It's literally disengaging from Western society entirely, women and society entirely. All right, and they don't want to have. This is what's going to happen. Like, they don't want to have anything to do with them. All right, and they don't want to go overseas. They don't want to go overseas. They don't want women overseas. They don't want women in the West. They don't want to have any relationships at all. They just want to live their best life, a peaceful life, away from not dealing with it. And if they stay in the U.S., they are going to disengage from the U.S. as much as possible. This is really what it is. All right? So passport bros are only dating women who appreciate them, and black women are furious. And as the Filipino pointed out, she said she doesn't know why these women are doing this. The reason why is because they have no other way of stopping these men. All they know how to do is being rude, disrespectful, nasty, and antagonizing, because that's how they've treated men. That's how they've been conditioned to treat men. All right, they don't know how to catch men with honey. They only know how to trap men and to use narcissism to keep men locked in, which is abuse. That just shows you what men have been living with and the kind of abuse men have been experiencing for years, and why so many men just give up. Guys, that's all I have for you. If you want to watch the full video, you can check out the full video. I'll be linked in the description of the video. Guys, if you like the video, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.